Brian, my vibe this week is one, I have a cold, and two, I have not been up on the news. I have not been as terminally online as I usually am. And I did see your Instagram story this week
That's all you need.
going off about the border immigration deal and how Republicans are going back on many things they wanted. Can you give me a deeper dive here, please?
Absolutely. I would love nothing more. So, we've seen some egregious behavior out of Congress in the last few years, and we like to talk about it. But this one really, you already know what I'm going to say, chaps
Chaps your
my
ass.
ass. This one really gets me going. And it is because we hear nonstop from Republicans the border is a problem, the border, the border, the border. Joe should go down there. Kamala should go down there. Everyone should live on the border. And now, suddenly, when Democrats and Republicans come to the table and negotiate a deal, those very same people went running for the hills and want nothing to do with it. And so that's what's
Why?
happening.
Because
Exactly.
didn't Joe Biden say on Friday, "We need to close the border," which for or something to that nature of, "We have a serious issue at the border. We need to act quickly."
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
And now Republicans are like, "Wait, wait, wait. Let's not."
Yeah, I think that, like, regardless of where you stand on the issue, there is broad acknowledgement that some kind of action needs to be taken. That what's happening right now isn't really working. It's not working for migrants, people seeking asylum. It's not working for law enforcement on the border. It's not working for the economics of it right now and where immigrants are landing and how they're being set up for success or lack thereof.
Totally.
Like, it's not working. And so there needs to be a solution. And Democrats showed a willingness to come to the table and make a deal. And so that's what's been being hammered out for a number of weeks, really months. And as the deal started to take shape, keep in mind, we have not actually seen a bill. There is no legislative text
Right.
released. So I can't even say what is or is not included exactly. It's all kind of like hearsay and whisper campaigns as to like what's in it.
Like,
Republicans
we the
are already
people have
saying
no idea what's in it.
no
We
one
the
does.
people.
No one
No
does,
one.
including members of the House. Like, they do not know what ultimately will be included. There's just ongoing conversations about it. And without having seen the text of this agreement that's taken months to hammer out, Republicans are already saying it's DOA. It's dead on arrival. They will not
Mm,
vote for it. And that is because
Donald.
politics.
Yeah.
Donald J. Trump. Trump loves to talk about immigration and talk about the border at his rallies and in his ads and attack Joe Biden on it. And they are very, very afraid it would really undercut the Trump campaign and his message in 2024 when we know that immigration as a whole is a huge issue for a lot of voters. And so it's really, again, not shocking. We've seen some crazy stuff out of Congress, but it is infuriating to see people behaving so selfishly and with such open, like,
Just
flagrant, power hungry nonsense. It's
yes.
maddening.
And disregard for human life. At the core of this
Of
is
course.
people who are fleeing violence, climate change, collapses of government. And these are people with families and lives, and they're trying to do what they view as best for them. And to have, we know that the system and acknowledge the system as it's currently set up is not working for anyone, as you mentioned.
Right.
So to have progress be made or attempted to be made to then be tabled just for political gain, it's really heartbreaking.
And don't just take our word for it. I will read you a direct quote from Senator Lankford, who's one of the lead negotiators on the bill. This is a Republican US Senator who represents Oklahoma in the Senate. And he said,
Now it's interesting a few months later when we're finally getting to the end, they're like, oh, just kidding. I actually don't want to change in law because it's a presidential election year.
that is what this is all about. And you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ted Cruz who are leading this charge against progress, against a deal, because they see it as a direct threat to their own reelections or to that of Donald Trump, depending on who we're talking about.
It's super sad. It's super frustrating, and it speaks to the nature of the 2024 election cycle and politics as a whole right now, in that the political gain is more valuable than the human life or experience or what the policy actually looks like in real life for Americans and those trying to seek asylum or to immigrate here. But we have another quote from everyone's favorite, Marjorie Taylor
Yeah.
Greene. She told CNN, "I just heard Speaker Mike Johnson saying it's absolutely dead, which is what I wanted to hear," as she left the GOP conference meeting this morning. Oh, wait, it continues. As a matter of fact, he said so clear, "I don't know why people keep asking me about it, because as it stands right now, there's no way forward." Get a new job then. Do your
Yeah, that new
job.
job.
Figure it out.
Totally. Yeah, and I just want to make clear for people, this is coming from someone, she has not read the text of the bill. Like she does not have access to the
Right.
actual bill and what it does or doesn't include. This is someone who doesn't want a path forward. This is someone who's not interested in a common sense bipartisan bill that would make progress on the issue and address other urgent crises around the world. She's not interested in that at all. None of them are, really.
None of them are.
And I do want to acknowledge, I know that a lot of people are upset about the deal on the left. A lot of people feel like it's too conservative of a deal that's been put together from what has leaked and what has been sort of surmised to be in it. And I would say if you're
Mm,
going to push for a more progressive solution, like we need way more support and mobilization and messaging around why that's important. Like, let's
right.
talk about how America is a nation of immigrants. Let's talk about the way to bring more people in with
Mhm.
faster work permitting and all these other solutions that I know are out there. But I
IDing.
think
Yeah,
that
exactly.
exactly, right. Like get people the resources that they need in order to succeed. And
Start
I
a
don't
life.
think that enough of that is out there right now in order to like push for a more progressive solution to the problem.
I completely agree. And it's something that, as we're looking at the 2024 cycle and why immigration is an issue, all I would say all of a sudden, right? I hear friends, we both live in the city of New York. New York City is an asylum city, and there was a lot
Yep.
of political maneuvering happening with certain states, governors, Florida and Texas sending migrants up to New York City. And we saw the reality of that. We see it every day. If you live in New York City, you're seeing migrants every day on the street, whether they're at a reticketing center or they're doing jobs. And we saw what that crisis looked like, and it became much more of the public discourse when Mayor Eric Adams is going back and forth with the administration, requesting more funding, et cetera. So
Right.
just by virtue of it being a policy that is now more in front of people, we're seeing how we do need more resourcing and more systems in place to be able to provide these people with opportunities and just basic resourcing.
Yeah. I mean, let me put it this way. If a deal gets done, then we should continue to push for the best deal that we can that really addresses like the root causes of the problem and isn't super reactionary. If a deal does not get done, then Democrats should be attack dogs on this
Mhm.
issue for the rest of the year as Republicans try to point and cry wolf at the border when they refuse to pass a bill to do anything about it.
Absolutely.